It's a bit fast. It's not charging.
No, okay. Okay, for me, is it charging?
Yes. Yes. He said I should unlock iPhone to use accessory.
It's not charging.
Yes, a beautiful Wednesday morning to you listeners out there. The program you're onto is in the papers and it's coming to you from iPower 102.7 FM. It is a program where we preview and review newspaper headlines and stories making rounds in the papers to your listening pleasure. I am Inioluwa Adekoya. And with me this morning, I've got the Hope newspaper, the Nation newspaper, the Punch newspaper, and the Daily Post newspaper. Right about now, we'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll give you headlines making rounds in the papers this morning. Yes, welcome back, welcome back. The program you're onto is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. And now beginning from the top of the list of our headlines this morning on the Hope newspaper, Kolawole Babatunde emerges new Ondo APC chairman. Still on the Hope newspaper, federal government unveils $552 million initiative to boost basic education reforms. Still on the Hope newspaper, Tinubu nominates Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance. Still on the Hope newspaper, DSS arrests police immigration officials implicated in Al-Rufai return to Nigeria. And now I take a flight to the Punch newspaper. INEC elevates 82 as directors, promotes 2,257 others. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, tax law, VAT eats record 1 trillion naira as new sharing era begins. Still on the Punch newspaper, talking asylum surge, UK stops study visas for 4 countries. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, customers to get 20 billion naira meter refund from Disco, says NERC. It's still on the Punch newspaper, talking headlines. Rivers Assembly begins screening of 9 Fubara Commissioner nominees. And another one from Ondo State, talking baby factory. Ondo couple jailed 14 years. And still on the Punch newspaper, talking headlines, man collapses, dies while jogging in Rivers. And now to the Daily Post newspaper, Sanwo-Olu appoints Inioluwa Adekoya as Lagos Accountant General. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, Rivers local government chairman under scrutiny of alleged physical assault on female aide. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, ADC insists justice must be fair, demands Malami El-Rufai. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, NAFDAC warns against underage drinking of sachet, small bottle alcohol. Yes, still talking headlines on the Nation newspaper. Nigerians in Middle East sent distress calls as government halts pilgrimage. Yes, and finally, talking headlines on the Nation newspaper, El-Rufai arrival security breach 5 for prosecution. Yes, and with that, we'll take another short break. When we get back, we'll give you stories and headlines making rounds in the papers this morning. Yes, glad to have you back. Like we said earlier, the program what you're onto is in the papers and it's coming to you from no other station but iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of the list of our stories this morning on the Oak newspaper, Kolawole Babatunde emerges new Ondo APC chairman. And now to the details. Special advisor to the governor of Ondo State on legislative matters and party affairs, Kolawole Babatunde, has emerged as the new chairman of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in the state. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, while addressing members of the party at the state congress held at the International Culture and Events Center, the Dome, urged all party members to uphold unity, discipline, and internal democracy. He further described the exercise as more than just a routine political event, stressing its significance in consolidating the party's structure. Yedatiwa said, and I quote, "Today's Congress is more than a routine political exercise. It is a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to party supremacy, unity, inclusiveness, and discipline. The APC remains a party built on structure, order, and collective responsibility, which aligns with the first point in our 7-point agenda addressing order, security, and rule of law, highlighting the need to subordinate personal ambition to collective interest." The governor stressed that individual aspirations must give way to party stability and progress. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Hub newspaper with the headline, "Kolawole Babatunde emerges new Ondo APC chairman." Yes, still on the Hub newspaper, federal government unveils $552 million initiative to boost basic education reforms. And now to the details. The federal government has unveiled a $552 million hope for quality basic education for all programs aimed at accelerating reforms in the Nigerian basic education sector. This was contained in a statement issued in Abuja by Boriowo Folashade, Director of Press and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Education. According to the statement, the initiative facilitated by the ministry is designed to improve foundational learning, expand access to quality basic education, and strengthen education systems across participating states. Boriowo quoted the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, as saying that the program aligns with the Nigerian education sector renewal initiative and is structured to promote measurable, transparent, and results-based reforms. It described the development as a defining moment in Nigerian education transformation, noting that activation of the funding marked a record in the country's education financing. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Hub newspaper with the headline, "Federal Government Unveils $552 million Initiative to Boost Basic Education Reforms." Yes, still on the Hub newspaper, Tinubu nominates Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance. And now to the details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nominated Mr. Taiwo Oyedele as the Minister of State for Finance. Oyedele is to replace Dr. Darius Uzoka Anite, Uzokanite will now move to the Ministry of Budget and National Planning as the Minister of State, a third portfolio since the advent of the administration. This was disclosed in a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, and made available to the media. He said the President Tinubu also recently conveyed Oyedele's nomination to the Senate for confirmation in a letter to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Until President Tinubu nominated him as the minister, Oyedele from Ikarama Koko in Ondo State was the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, which overhauled Nigeria's tax system. The 50-year-old is an economist, accountant, and public policy expert. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, Tinubu nominates Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance. Still on the Herb newspaper, DSS arrest police immigration officials implicated in El-Rufai's return to Nigeria. And now to the details. The Nigerian Secret Police, the Department of State Services, DSS, has arrested some security operatives in connection with the return of Malam Nasir El-Rufai to Nigeria from Egypt on February 12. The DSS has reportedly attempted to arrest the former governor of Kaduna State at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, but failed in a bid to do so. His passport was, however, eventually seized. The former governor's spokesperson, Inioluwa Adekoya, had announced the seizure of the principal passport after the botched arrest attempt. He had said, and I quote, security agencies today attempted to arrest Malam Nasir El-Rufai as he arrived on a flight to Cairo. Malam El-Rufai declined to follow them without a formal invitation. They, however, snatched his international passport from an aide. El-Rufai honored the invitation of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, 3 days after the botched arrest and has been in detention since then. The anti-graft agency had grilled him for 3 days and granted him bail, but the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, arrested him after. Giving an update on the situation, the DSS, which filed criminal charges against El-Rufai but could not arraign him on February 25, 2026 because he was in the ICPC custody, alleged that El-Rufai bribed his way through to be able to escape arrest upon his return from overseas. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, DSS arrests police immigration officials implicated in El-Rufai's return to Nigeria. Yes, and now I take a flight to the Punch newspaper. INEC elevates 82 as directors, promotes 2,257 others. And now to the details. The Independent National Electoral Commission has approved the promotion of 2,339 personnel in the 2025 Senior Staff Promotion Exercise, underscoring its commitment to career progression, institutional continuity, and organizational stability. The decision was taken at the Commission's meeting held on Thursday, February 26, 2026, according to a statement issued on Tuesday in Abuja by Mrs. Victoria Etamesi. 82 chief officers of the Commission on GL 14 to 15 advanced to Assistant Director. Similarly, the GL 15 to 16, 91 Assistant Directors became promoted to the rank of Deputy Directors. At the directorate level, covering grade levels 16 and 17, a total of 45 Deputy Directors were elevated to the rank of Directors. Of this number, 18 will continue to inactive service, while 27 are due for retirement shortly after the promotion in line with the Public Service Regulation. The promotion exercise also affected 2,121 immediate officers of the GL 07 to 13 across various departments of the Commission. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, INEC elevates 82 as directors, promote 2,257 others. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, talking tax law, that its record 1 trillion naira as new sharing era begins. And now to the details. The total value-added tax earnings rose to 1.8 trillion naira in January as the new sharing formula commenced, altering how the proceeds are split among the federal government, states and local government. Findings by newsmen have shown. Documents presented at the February meeting of the Federation Account Allocation Committee and obtained by newsmen recently showed the total VAT collection by the Nigerian Revenue Service stood at 1.8 trillion naira in January 2026 compared to 913.96 billion naira in December 2025. The increase of 169.20 billion naira represents an 18.5% rise month on month. However, the full 1.8 trillion naira was not available for sharing. VAT deduction at source amounted to 79.94 billion naira in January, up from 67.45 billion naira in December, leaving a new VAT of 1 trillion naira for distribution. In December, the net VAT share stood at 846.51 billion naira. The month-on-month increase in the net distributable VAT was 156.72 billion naira, also representing an 18.5% increase. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, VAT its record 1 trillion naira as new sharing era begins. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, talking asylum surge. UK stops study visas for 4 countries. And now to the details. The UK government has imposed an emergency break on study visas for nationals of Afghanistan, Cameroon, Myanmar, and Sudan, following a sharp rise in asylum claims from individuals who initially entered the country through legal routes. According to recent reports, the unprecedented move will end sponsored study visas for all 4 countries and suspend skilled worker visas for Afghan nationals. The change will be introduced through our immigration rules amendment on the 5th of March and come into force on 26th of March. The Home Office recently said the decision followed a surge in asylum claims from people who had entered legally on visas before subsequently applying for asylum. It said, and I quote, an emergency break on visas has been imposed for the first time on nations from 4 countries, or nationals from 4 countries, following the surge in asylum claims from legal routes. In total, 1,333,760 people have claimed asylum after arriving legally in the past 5 years. Since 2021, almost 135,000 individuals entered the UK on student or other visas before lodging asylum claims. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline. It is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, UK stop study visas for 4 countries. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, customers to get 20 billion naira meter refunds from Discos, NERC says. And now to the details. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has ordered all electricity distribution companies to pay 20.33 billion naira in outstanding meter reimbursement to customers under the Meter Assets Providers Framework. The Commission directed that the total amount must be recovered and fully disbursed to affected customers over 12 months commencing on March 1, 2026. Under the MAP scheme, customers pay for meters and are refunded by the Discos through energy credits. However, the Commission noted that the level of refunds has been very slow over the years, necessitating a new order. The order states, and I quote, order number NERC/2026/025, which amends the previous 2023 order on the reimbursement of meter cost, was signed by the NERC chairman, Musiliu Oseni, and the Commissioner Legal Licensing and Compliance at the NERC, Dafe Akpeneye, on February 27, 2026. Next stated, as of December 31, 2025, Discos had failed to reimburse customers for meter procured under the MAP framework, leaving an outstanding of 20.33 billion naira. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, customers to get 20 billion naira meter refunds from Discos, NAC says. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, Rivers Assembly begins screening of 9 Fubara Commissioner nominees. And now to the details. The Rivers State House of Assembly has confirmed receipt of the list of commissioners nominee from Governor Siminalayi Fubara and invited 9 of the nominees for screening and confirmation. The submission of the list by the governor comes about 3 weeks after he sacked 8 commissioners who were not affected by the Supreme Court's judgment recognizing Martin Amewule as the authentic Speaker of the Assembly. Fubara also dismissed all his special advisors. The list of the 9 commissioners is believed to be the first batch, with more names expected in the cabinet. The invitation of the 9 commissioners nominee was contained in a government special announcement dated the 3rd of March, signed by the Clerk of the House, Dr. Emeka Amadi. The statement reads, and I quote, the Rivers State House of Assembly hereby invites nominees for appointment as commissioners and members of the Rivers State Executive Council to submit 40 sets of curriculum vitae, photocopies of credentials, and evidence of compliance with tax obligation. The nominees are Professor Datonye Alasia, Mr. Tonye Belgam, Professor Temple Nwofo, Dr. Peters Nwago, Mrs. Charity Demoa, Tamuno Williams, and Mr. Lekue Kenneth Otonye Amatre, and Amariga Edward Hart. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Rivers Assembly begins screening of 9 Fubara Commissioner nominees. Yes, the program you're still onto is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. The time has come for you to call in for comments and contributions to any of the stories and headlines read out to you. And the number to call is 08034386846. 08034386846. Right about now, we'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll give you more stories making rounds in the papers this morning. Like I said earlier, the program you're onto is in the papers from iPower 102.7 FM. It's a program where we preview and review newspaper headlines and stories making rounds in the papers for your listening pleasure. And now the time to call has come. The number to call is 08034386846. 08034386846. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, man collapses, dies while jogging in Rivers. And now to the details. Residents of the Agbonchia community in Eleme areas of Rivers State were thrown into panic recently after a man yet to be identified collapsed and died while jogging. The incident reportedly occurred in the early hours of the day along a major road in the community. In a video obtained by newsmen, a passerby could be heard raising the alarm as the lifeless body of the man lay motionless on the ground. in Agbochia Eleme. Someone just collapsed. If you know his face, please contact his family. The man was jogging, and according to sources, he collapsed and died. There is no pulse or voice in the video said. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, "Man collapses, dies while jogging in rivers." Yes, now to the Daily Post newspaper. Iran and Nigeria in trouble too. Akim Baba Ahmed. Amid the ongoing tensions in Iran, former advisor to President Bola Tinubu on political matters, Akim Baba Ahmed, has said that Nigerians too is in trouble. Baba Ahmed stated this recently during an interview with newsmen. He was speaking about the attack on Iran by the United States and its ally Israel. Recent reports had reported that the U.S. and Israel launched strikes on Iran on Saturday, resulting in the death of its supreme leader and other top political office holders. Here in his opinion, Baba Ahmed said Nigeria too is in trouble. We are not safe with what is going on in Iran. The world is by now aware of the fact that 2 days ago, the United States of America and Israel attacked the state of Iran, killed its leader and a number of very senior political and military officers, as well as numbers of other children. Clearly, the United States has decided to effect regime change, meaning removal of the entire leadership of Iran, and maybe installing a different one, or giving a chance to citizens of Iran to choose who will next govern them. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, "Iran and Nigeria in trouble too," Akim Baba Ahmed says. Still on the Daily Post newspaper, NAFDAC warns against underage drinking of sachet, small bottle alcohol. And now to the details. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, NAFDAC, has highlighted the risk of underage drinking and minors consuming alcohol beverage sold in small sachets and small PET bottle packaging. NAFDAC explained that underage drinking can lead to violence and injuries, noting that alcohol is a significant contributor to youth suicides, murders, and car crashes or accidents. The agency said alcohol also plays a major role in kidnapping, banditry, and terrorism, and other harmful activities occurring daily in the country. It listed the associated danger, insisting that there is no justification to reverse the ban on the production, sale, and use of sachet alcohol in small PET packages. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, "NAFDAC warns against underage drinking of sachet, small bottle alcohol." Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, "I would rather die than betray my predecessor." That is not coming from me. It is coming from Governor Buni, as he declares. And now to the details. Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni has made a powerful declaration saying he would rather die than betray his political godfather and current Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam. But he made this declaration recently while addressing delegates shortly after the conclusion of the All Progressive Congress APC held at Damaturu, the Yobe State capital. He said, and I quote, he would rather die than betray his mentor, Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam. He said he remains deeply grateful to him for the role he played in his political journey. He also stated he will never forget where he came from, and he will never turn his back on the man who trusted and supported him. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, he would rather die than betray his predecessor, Governor Beni declares. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, Rivers local government chairman under scrutiny of alleged physical assault on female aide. And now to the details. The chairman of the Ahoada West local government area, Honorable Eugene Ekpele, is facing allegations of assault made by his former media aide, Mini Ogadima. Ogadima alleged that the council chairman ordered his brother, Monday Cheetah, to attack her for allegedly attempting to tarnish his image. Recent reports that trouble started after Ogadima made a social media post highlighting the deteriorating condition of the community secondary school, Odioku. She alleged that the chairman visited our residence on Sunday evening after a video. According to her, the chairman accused her of trying to damage his reputation and subsequently directed his brother, Monday Cheetah, to teach her a lesson. She further alleged that Cheetah assaulted her and attempted to use a shovel during the altercation, claiming the situation was only brought under control by neighbors who intervened. Ogadima said both she and her mother sustained injuries during the incident and disclosed that she was relieved of her duties as media aide the same Sunday. In her account, she stated, on Thursday, I visited my community secondary school in Odioku. When I got there, I saw how bad the school was. They don't have chairs, no roofs over their heads, so I made a video calling for help. I tagged VDM in my post, asking him to come and renovate the school for us. Yesterday, I was in my house with my mother when the chairman came and his younger brother, Monday Cheetah, and security man with a driver. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Rivers local government chairman under scrutiny over alleged physical assault on female aide. Yes, and on the Daily Post newspaper, suspended Ebonyi commissioner accepts blame, apologizes to Governor Nwifuru. And now to the details. The suspended commissioner for works in Ebonyi State, Lebechi Mbam, has tendered a public apology following his indefinite suspension by the state governor, Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru, of alleged dereliction of duty. Recall that Governor Nwifuru at the weekend announced the indefinite suspension of Mbam and his infrastructure development for concession counterpart Ogbonnaya Obasia Bara, citing lapses in discharge of their responsibilities at the Ministry of Work. In the statement issued on his social media handle after the suspension, Mbam acknowledged the weight of leadership and accepted the responsibility for the unmet expectation under his watch. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Suspended Ebonyi Commissioner accepts blame, apologizes to Nwifuru. Yes, the program you're still onto is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. It is a program where we preview and review newspaper headlines and stories making rounds in the papers for your listening pleasure. And with me this morning, I am not alone. I've got our in-house political analyst. He will be giving 1 or 2 cents on the headlines and stories read out to you this morning. But before we do that, we will go on a short break. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, the program you're onto is in the papers and it's coming to you from no other station but iPower 102.7 FM. And I said that we will have our in-house political analyst with us on the program this morning. A beautiful morning to you, Akin Adebayo.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on the program today.
Yes, you're looking ravishing as always this morning.
Well, thanks for that. But it's mine.
Yes, and yes, and now talking headlines and stories in the papers this morning. Beginning from the Daily Post newspaper, where we've got this. Nigeria is in trouble too. Akim Baba Ahmed has come out to say after the altercation between Nigeria, the United States, and Israel on Iran. Do you think, as he said, Nigeria is in trouble too? Do you think this partially, of course, it affects every sector? Do you think it affects Nigeria as a whole?
Yeah, thank you very, very much. If I'm not mistaken, the major concern for Nigerians should be the economic part. Of course, whenever there is a crisis in the Middle East, there is no doubt there's going to be a kind of spike in the petroleum product due to the rate at which crude oil will now be sold in the international market that is being controlled by OPEC. And as we know, then the war now is between, let's say, the Western Bloc and the Eastern Bloc. When I say Western Bloc, I'm talking about the United States, I'm talking about the United Kingdom, and maybe other Western countries as well, against the Middle East. Now, like I said, there is no doubt that this won't be about a kind of problem. Like was not yesterday or about. Tehran said, I'm talking about Iran this time around, that they blocked a major route, I think straight Noah or about, I think a major route whereby petroleum and crude oil product do pass it. I think it's the Mediterranean Sea. You understand? The route that has been blocked. And like I said earlier on, whenever there's crisis in the Middle East, no doubt there's going to be a spike in probably the sales of crude oil. And when that one takes effect there, and since Nigeria is the monolithic economy, our GDP is strictly based on oil. There's no doubt it's not going to affect us back here. Because, in case whereby that is why we are talking about diversification all this while. It is high time Nigeria to actually diversify our economy. You see, this over-reliance on oil actually brought us to the level we find ourselves. So, in regarding that, Akin Baba Ahmed is very much correct, it's right. But the major problem now is this, which a lot of us give me serious concern.
Okay.
The war in the Middle East is not about religion. But unfortunately, in Nigeria now, we're not beginning to make the war in the Middle East wear a kind of religious coloration. And that is the major problem. Okay, what is that business with Ayatollah being killed? That not led to protests in Lagos, that led to protests in Kano, maybe some northern state, Borno, and what have you. What are concerned with Ayatollah? You understand? And that is where the problem is. Religiosity is one of the major problems we are having here in Nigeria. Like I said, if Akin Baba is speaking from the area of the economy, the implication of the implication of the war on Nigeria economy is very much correct. But if he's looking at it from the political aspect, then it's not doing the Nigerian, particularly those of us that are being communicated to, it's not doing us any good regarding that. If his assessment is based on religiosity, then it's just only adding salt to injury. I would really appreciate Akin Baba Ahmed if he's being sincere with his reportage, if he can just address the issue holistically and not made it a religious or ethnic based or political based argument. If he's narrating it on the area of the economy, it's very much correct. But in other areas, I might say that Akin Baba Ahmed is wrong. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Akin. Now, moving on, we've got this from NAFDAC as they have warned against underage drinking of sachet and small bottle alcohol, and we know that from time past that there have been strict measures against the sachet alcohol, and they are trying to enforce the law that it should be banned, or it has been banned already. What do you think? They according to them, they said alcohol actually plays a major role in kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, and other harmful occurrence daily in the country. What do you think about this?
Thank you very, very much.
Yes.
Before the show of emergence of banditry, kidnapping, and what have you, has there not been sales of alcohol? For crying out loud, you see, at times I get peace with some of our leaders with their policy formation and its implementation. Now, we are talking about youth And what did she paint? How did she paint it?
She said the use of underage alcohol drinking, it has led to banditry, crises, and a whole lot of others.
I'm trying to say there's no correlation in that analysis. No, I mean no correlation.
Okay.
We're talking about underage and banditry and what have you. Who are those actually involved in banditry? Of course, no doubt. We have some people. There's nobody that can be less than 18 that's involved in banditry. And constitutionally, the very minute you are above 18, you are no longer an underage. So we should be specific with what we say at times. You understand? In as much as I don't support the consumption of alcohol, of course, no doubt it enhances some of these things as well. But rather for the government to just put a ban on it, because I can tell you for free, many people are actually living on the sales of this product. I'm going to say with you. And like in the Western world as well, people call it take alcohol. But now in Assam want to ban it because of really youth consumption and what have you. Then I think the government should go an extra mile, implementing policies to actually check it. Do you know that in the Western world, if you are just driving, maybe you can just be flagged down.
Yes.
And at that point in time, your breath will be tested. And the very minute there are atom of alcohol in it, then you'll be impounded. And there'll be a kind of a punitive measure to check such things. You understand? But are we doing such thing in Nigeria? No. Rather, you just want to collapse a particular industry for a reason best known. Like I said, sale of alcohol has been on ground before the issue of kidnapping, banditry, and what have you. I think what the government needs to do now is to making sure that, okay, how do we check? Look, they can go. Don't be surprised that the people that are some of these things. I have some of this. By the time these things are confiscated, don't be surprised. It must still be resold by the same agencies.
Obviously.
You understand? So what I'm just trying to say in a nutshell is that we should, instead of just pushing the blame on the citizens all the time, the government and the leadership itself to put in place policies to check the excesses of stuff like this, rather than you crashing an entire industry. We are talking about industrialization of the country, and some people are now saying that they want to crash it entirely. No, to me, they should have really approach it in a better way through policy formation and its implementation, and not scrapping or condemning or terminating an entire industry. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's quickly take this final one on the Rivers local government chairman that allegedly assaulted, said his brother should assault. She came out, made a video of a former school, and she posted it tagging Very Dark Man. Then all of a sudden, as this is what is written on the Daily Post newspaper, and all of a sudden he came, the chairman, the Rivers local government chairman, came to our house with his said brother, and he said his brother should deal with her or do with her. Does this empower right to speak out when something is wrong, or is it that we should just the government or the political orders just want us to keep quiet and just watch as things get worse and worse?
Thank you very, very much. Going by the status of that lady, I think she happened to be a media aide to that chairman.
Yes.
I can assure you she must have discussed that issue with the chairman of how the chairman can be of help to the school she actually mentioned.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I think seeing the chairman is not forthcoming and the lady seems helpless, she has to look for an alternative. That is where the issue of leadership comes in. If somebody, one of your media aide, is actually telling you to be of help to a particular school in a community, and you don't do that, then I begin to imagine what other people should be expecting. Someone that you see on a daily basis, your media aide, your image maker, must be sincere with herself. You could still be that brutal, could be, be that insensitive to the extent that you not even meet that simple demand she actually made from you.
He didn't even meet the demand, then he went
and
back.
You still went ahead. Because the lady sought for an alternative of how can I, because I can assure you there must have been tremendous pressure on that lady. By the look, I would have told her, are you not the media aide to this girl, to this chairman? So you be of that assistance. If that lady has not been given that appointment, I can assure you that there may not be pressure on her from her community. But in the case whereby people now begin to seize you as a political office holder to the chairman, a media person, then how can we feel you? The lady is just trying to make sure that our local government citizens or indigents feels her, and that was why she has discussed with the chairman, and seeing the chairman before they are not forthcoming, then she has to look for an alternative. But unfortunately, look at what he did. All he could offer at that point in time is for him now to go to her house and beat her up. I mean, I begin to imagine the kind of leaders you are producing. Most of them are Janjaweed, I repeat again, Janjaweed leaders. Most of them don't even fit to occupy political offices, but unfortunately, that's where we find ourselves. So we just have to manage with or do with what we have. But as the case may be, I think the lady now really needs to take up this matter legally against him, because for any reason should he have gone ahead to assault her, and that is an infringement on a fundamental human right of freedom of speech. And again, you see, it is enshrined in the constitution that as a leader, or the constitution provides that there are some basic amenities you must provide, though it's not justiciable in section 4, but it's justiciable in section 2, that there are some basic amenities you should provide for your citizens. And since this chairman has refused to fulfill that responsibility, I think, and for him to have even got the extra mile beating on that lady, I think the lady should have a good legal ground to pursue her case in the court of competent jurisdiction. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Akin. Can we quickly have your parting short?
My parting has always been that we should just do the right thing. Look, if every one of us, particularly starting from the leadership, can do the right thing, we are not exclusive for 100%. 70-80% is enough. Let them just try to do the right thing. 70-80%, I think the country will be a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Akin. Yes, and with that, we've come to a wrap on today's edition of In the Papers. We hope this review has kept you informed of what is making rounds today. And on to you next time. I am Inioluwa Adekoya. Many thanks for listening, and have a beautiful day.